Hey, chat room. I'm back. I need to get my hair cut, guys. Anyway, I don't see there's anyone in the chat room right now, but if you click on the headline, it's Ask Me Anything Sunday. So, hopefully I'll get some, uh, you know, good questions. And if not, that's cool as well. Like I said, I'm still in the experimental process with all of this. But what I shall do is get something to munch on. Uh, I have chips, I have fruit snacks, I have pistachios. I've been devouring fruit snacks for the past 4 days, as well as chips. So I'm gonna go with the pistachios. I've been eating the pistachios too, but I wanna conserve my fruit snacks. at least until at least until tomorrow. Then I'm back on the fruit snacks. so, but yeah, just ask me anything Sundays. But we can go into specific topics if you guys like. We can definitely go into specific topics. This it's all on you guys. We can talk politics. We can talk science. We can talk cartoons. We can talk nonsense. It doesn't matter as long as it's appropriate. We can talk relationships. We can talk traveling. I always tell people, you know, I do these formats once a week, and then unfortunately, a lot of people don't show up. But then on a different day, I'll have like a specific topic, but people would then want to talk about stuff not not relevant to those topics. And I'd be like, hey, wait till my ask me anything days, and they usually don't. But today is my ask me anything day, so it's ask me anything Sunday. So ask me anything Sunday, as long as it's appropriate. Hey Amir, how are you doing? Amir Tarani says hi. Anything? Did anyone do anything exciting this weekend? Is the Diwali festival still going on? I'm curious. I'm not sure how many days Diwali lasts. And to be fair, I only found out about celebration of Diwali probably 4 years ago, which is a shame because I had a Indian best friend in high school and college. So you would think I would know about Diwali, but I didn't because his family was Christian, and he's literally never mentioned Diwali to me. And during the festival, I've never seen his family have their lights up. So I'm not even sure if his family celebrated Diwali. What's up, John Doe? Sorry, eating pistachios, guys. I don't watch football. So did you see the Cowboys today? Yeah, I don't watch football. Only thing I'm in Baltimore, so only thing I knew about was the Baltimore Ravens versus the the was it the Denver Broncos or something like that? Whoever it was, they smashed them because they were playing here in Baltimore, and I was downtown while the game was happening. All right, we have another retard that needs to be banished. Mm-mm-mm. Went to Ravens Stadium. It's ghetto by there. I'm talking about the M&T Stadium. Yeah, that's all of Baltimore though. All like Baltimore is a ghetto, but there are some really nice high rises in downtown Baltimore by the harbor and on Charles Street and um so Charles Street and like St. Paul's or over in Canton. But like I was telling my friend today because we were doing DoorDash, um, you couldn't pay me to live in Baltimore, and it has been getting better slowly, very slowly, but it has been getting better, and especially if you live near Johns Hopkins or if you live near University of Baltimore or off the harbor, those are desirable places in the city. But overall, I just wouldn't want to live in the city just because I don't like this. I just don't like Baltimore itself. But there are some nice places there. I will admit that. Like not a lot of people live near the M&T Stadium. Well, people that I would care about. But the Washington football team, um, they're like right within PG County. That area is as well. It's not bad, but it's not a place I would choose to live. I don't know any sports stadiums that come off the top of my head where it's great to live nearby. I don't know, maybe the New York Mets Stadium, maybe there. But yeah, I don't know any too many sports stadiums where people will find it favorable to live. The Yankees, I don't know. That's the Yankee Stadium is in the Bronx. I wouldn't want to live in the Bronx, not at all. Like I said, maybe the New York Mets. That's in that's in Manhattan, and I don't think it's in the hood of Manhattan. So I think the Mets Stadium might be a nice place, but Yankees, nah. And in the Bronx, what's up, Amore? Don't remember. I mean, I remember you, but don't remember the convo. Hey, Agatha, how are you? Happy Sunday to you as well. Agatha, you're from New York. Can you can you settle this? Um, is the residency around the Yankee Stadium nice? Because I'm thinking because it's in the Bronx, it's not a nice area. But I'm thinking around the New York Mets Stadium is nice because that's um in more of a nicer part of Manhattan, I think. Am I wrong? I appreciated it more. He says, I love your video. Oh, by the way, anyone just coming into the chat, again, this is Ask Me Anything Sunday, so feel free to ask me random questions. Ask me anything is the only day where you can ask me random questions for, without having to do a super chat. Any other day, I usually have a topic, a specific topic, and I won't diverge from it unless someone's dropping like a super chat or a super sticker or a cash app or buy me a coffee, something of the sort. But today is Ask Me Anything Sunday, so again, you can literally ask me any question that is appropriate. And yes, I'm eating pistachios, guys. Mm-mm. How's that for multitasking? I got it. I appreciate it. By the way, let me change my filters to make sure I'm catching all my messages. Um, yep. Agnes says, "Are you ready for Tuesday?" You know I am because remember I voted already 2 weeks ago, so I got it out the way. Remember I said the first day of early voting here in Maryland, I went the very first day, so I've knocked that out. So I'm prepared for whatever the results are. Um, coming Wednesday or Thursday because the results won't be known on Tuesday. They're really not going to be known until Thursday, but people are going to have like their preliminary results on Wednesday. I'm not one of those people who's going to worry myself over the results on Tuesday night because you still got a lot of ballot counting to do Tuesday night, so you won't know. Every news, I'm already warning people, every news platform is going to show the projected winner on Tuesday night. Those projected winners can be misleading. Let's remember back in 2016 that the projected winner was Hillary and she did win the popular vote. But as the ballots came in, they realized that she lost the electoral vote. So even though she was the projected winner and did win the popular vote, they they broke the hearts of millions of people when they realized that she lost. And I remember back in 2000, we wasn't exactly sure who won between Al Gore, and George W. Bush because of the hanging Chad ballots in Florida. So guys, don't stay up all night Tuesday thinking they're going to have the winners because they're not. Um, but I am going to do a live. I am going to go live Tuesday night so we can talk about it. Definitely. Amor says it's my brother's birthday. Well, happy birthday to your brother. Agnes says yes. I'm going on Tuesday to vote. I like the excitement. A group of my friends were going together. That's cool. If you want to go on election day and be a part of the crowd, that's good. I don't like being a part of crowds, especially when it comes to politics. I don't trust people's I don't trust people's behavior when it comes to politics and religion. So I don't want to be in a group of herd like I don't want to be in a group where people have a herd like mentality when it comes to something as contentious as politics and religion because I don't want to be a part of it because if things go ugly, and then in New York, as hard as it is to get a concealed carry, no thanks. So Tuesday, all I have to do is sit and watch the results. And like I said, the government should make Election Day a federal holiday so people can have off on that day instead of having a federal mandate that says that people have to be allowed time to vote. Just make it a holiday, and people don't have to worry about going to work at all on that day, so they can vote whichever given time they choose. And she said, "That's true. I'm leaving work early." See, oh, that's even worse. You're going during the evening. That's when you're gonna have all the people coming in, rushing from work. Oh, you're gonna be in a crowd. You are gonna be in a crowd. But I mean, if that's fun for you, that's fine. Some people are definitely gonna have political parties, like they're gonna have election night parties. Miss Needle, hey Miss Needle, my sweet German lady. She says you got a time slot specifically for an area when you can vote or for all day. So the way it works here, Miss Needle, is depending on where you live, you have a specific voting. Um, depending on your address, you're assigned a voting designation, right? So you can only go there to vote, but you're allowed to go there all day until that place closes. They all close at the same time, which I think is at 9 p.m. or 10 p.m., something like that. But if people want to vote early, there are multiple designations for early voting depending on where you live, and you can go those places at any time as well. But if you're going to vote on election day, you can only go to that specific place um, for your voting district. Gosh, Shalom. Miss Neal says here you can go all day from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. That's what she said. Um, but no, yeah, I think here it closes at like 8 or 9 p.m., something like that, Eastern Standard Time. But and like I said, there's a federal law that requires all employers to allow people to take time off on election day to go work. I mean, to go vote. But it would just make more sense to make it a federal holiday. Are there long queues? In some places, I'm not sure. Like it depends on the place and the time, really, Miss Nito. A lot of people here they've already done mail-in ballots, absentee ballots, and early voting. So the people who didn't do that or didn't want to do that, who are coming on election day, there's gonna be a lot of people. So it might be long queues, but uh, relative to the time of day. I'm pretty sure in the evening when everyone's getting off of work, it's probably gonna be when it's the most crowded. I'm guessing if you go like early in the morning, it won't be as bad. Agla says I'm getting nervous because the conversation going on around last Friday in my workplace, people was getting disrespectful to arguing about voting. Exactly. Don't discuss politics at works, guys. And I'm not saying this if you're liberal. I'm not saying this if you're a if you're a conservative, if you're a progressive, if you're a socialist, if you're a libertarian, if you're an anarchist, if you're a fascist, if you're Antifa, if you're a democratic socialist, if you're a social democrat, um, if you're ultra conservative, if you're classical liberal like me, um, just don't discuss politics at work. Let others discuss it. Stay out of the conversation. You can't if you don't discuss it. If you don't discuss it, you can never get into that. You never have to worry about getting into that that argument. Miss Nito's asking you, Agatha. She said, what are you afraid about losing your job for your political stance?" Because she says there have been cases like that all over here. That does happen in some places, Miss Nito. I think she's. I'm not sure she can tell you herself. I think what she's referring to is just the heat coming from. I'm guessing employees having very heated debates over what they think is right and all this sort of stuff. Like I said, I would simply stay out of it. When I went to the office, I never discussed politics or religion. Only time I would mention anything about religion is if they asked us to pray, and I'm like, yeah, I don't pray. Other than that, I didn't discuss my religious beliefs, didn't discuss my political beliefs. All people knew about me was that I love comic books and superheroes. That's all they needed to know about me. And they thought that's all I read because that's all they saw me with. It was like comic books. They didn't know that I would have like 500-page textbooks in my book in my book bag as well. And Agnes says, "Yes, I'm staying away." That's smart. I wouldn't discuss politics with coworkers or family. Most people get most people abandon reason and evidence when it comes to closely held beliefs like political beliefs, religious beliefs, or beliefs about their children or something like that, or their spouse. Messina says there are times where you should not keep silent though. Yeah, but we're not talking about that, Miss Nee. We're talking about at work. At work, you should not be discussing politics. Unless your job is politics, you shouldn't be discussing politics at work. Unless your job is religion, you shouldn't be discussing religion at work. It's just common sense. It's not even a professional mandate. It's just common sense that these are the most contentious things to talk about. So why delve into that at work? Is it going to help you get a promotion? Are you going to are you going to get a bonus? Um, Probably not. Is it going to get you laid? Probably not. So I wouldn't. Missing this problem is not discussion. It's the problem that people get offended. Yeah, but again, I get that, Miss Neal, but people have to be practical. You have to be pragmatic. It's just not. It's it's not sensible to discuss something that's so um that's so contentious or fiery in a place in the workplace. It's inappropriate. That's the point. It's not that it offends people. It's the fact that it's inappropriate at work because it's irrelevant to your job. He said, Mr. Lee says, if you don't get offended, I don't see an issue. Again, it's not about being offended. It's inappropriate in the workplace. Just like sex is inappropriate in the workplace. Unless your work is sex. Unless you are a sex worker, work sex at work is inappropriate. Unless your job is politics, politics is inappropriate at work. Unless your job is religion, religion is inappropriate at work. That's this is this has nothing to do with ideals or certain virtues. This is just a pragmatic issue. Now you live in a, I mean, you have a more, you live in a more artsy world, entertainment world where it's not, that's not an issue. I'm talking about, when I'm talking about work, I'm talking about specifically like the office place, like the office. Now, if you work somewhere like in a music studio, in a you know, in a college campus, then yeah, um, things like politics will often might get discussed. But I'm talking about in like the typical workplace, which is the office. It's just not pragmatic. So that's all I'm saying. I'm not saying people's views are wrong or anything like that. But what if it's something that might save your life that could be irrelevant to your workplace, but wouldn't you still want to know about it? How is discussing political views going to save your life? First of all, people discussing politics have very little power over the things they're discussing. You don't have any you have no power over the legislature. You have no power over the judiciary. You have no power over the executive branch. These things are beyond your control. So discussing it in some format as if you have the power to change those things, it just doesn't make sense. Religion, again, it is inappropriate in the workplace, and people have different beliefs. That's the other thing. You have to respect that other that people have beliefs other than you, than what you have. You may be a God fearing, saved, born again Christian, but you might be but you might be uh, in a cubicle next to someone who's a Sikh or atheist or agnostic or Buddhist or Muslim or Confucian, um, and or many other religions. Like they, why should they have to be subjected to your beliefs just because there's something that you hold dear? They have their own beliefs that they may hold dear as well, or they may hold no beliefs dear and not want to hear any of them, like me. So it's not appropriate. But if you work in a seminary, then it is appropriate. But I get what you're saying, not necessarily mean in politics. I'm just talking about anything generally that's inappropriate in the workplace should be left for after work to discuss. I'm not saying you can't discuss it with your coworkers. What I'm saying is it shouldn't be discussed at work. That's what I'm trying to say. I'm not saying you can't discuss non-work related things with your coworkers. I'm just saying you shouldn't discuss them at work. After work, discuss whatever you want. Bone whoever you want after work. You can bone your boss, bone your secretary, bone the HR person. I don't care, but that's after work, not during work. That's all I'm saying. Don't do it during work. Agnes says a friend of mine told me he works in a private company and he did early voting. He wore the I vote sticker, and his boss told him that what would he do if his party didn't win. I would have been like, "What party do you think I'm?" What, I would have been like, "Well, how do you know which party I'm rooting for?" Now, maybe his boss is smart enough to know that most people who go to early voting tend to be Democrats. So I'm guessing that's what happened. Like the boss assumed because he went to early voting that he was probably a Democrat because Democrats tend to do more early voting, whereas Republicans tend to vote more on election day. That might have been the case. But either way, if my boss asked me that, I'd be like, I don't know. I'd be like, hey, I don't know who's going to win, but I voted for whom I wanted. So whatever happens, happens, and that's the way I would have left it. I wouldn't have gotten into any more discussions about politics. I would have shrugged it off like I don't know, and just left it alone. That would have been the that would have clearly signaled to my boss that I wasn't interested in engaging in that line of conversation. Officer Lumen, what's up, bro? He said, "Hey, what's up? I just got done with eating. How's y'all doing?" Doing well, doing well. Been out all day doing DoorDash with a buddy, so just chilling. Um, Aga says the workplace is very toxic around this time. He didn't answer him. He's smart. He's smart that he didn't answer him. Again, you don't have to go down that line of discussion if you don't want. Not with your boss and not with anyone else. Now, if the boss wants me to vote a certain way, I'll simply lie to him. If a boss says, "Well, what if your party doesn't win?" and he's strongly implying that I need to be on whatever team he supports, then I'll simply lie to him. I don't have. I'm if I know this boss is that inappropriate that he would imply that I must be on his political team, whatever party that is, I'll simply lie to him and say, "Yeah, I voted for so and so." And once that person smiles and like, good man," then that's it and done. He'll assume I'm on his team regardless of whom I've actually voted for. Again, guys, this is about being pragmatic. That's what I'm saying. Everyone wants to be so idealistic and voice their political views and yada yada yada. I'm pragmatic. Again, this comes from years of being grounded in critical thinking and logic and having an understanding of people of social psychology. I'm if I know that I'm dealing with a political ideologue, whether it's a boss or a coworker that has like power over me or some or anywhere where there's a power dynamic where I know if I'm not on that person's team that it'll make things difficult for me. I'm simply just gonna lie to them and pretend that I'm for whomever they like. That's it. That's all. Just lie. And that's not immoral to do so, by the way. Lying is not um honesty is not necessarily synonymous with telling the truth. And if you want me to explain that why that's the case, I will. But I'll repeat that. Honesty is not necessarily synonymous with telling the truth. I know that sounds very counterintuitive, but it's it does track. Did you catch the top of the chat, Officer Lumen, what we started talking about? We're talking about talking about politics and other personal beliefs in the workplace. And I'm saying they're basically talking about very contentious topics in the workplace is rather inappropriate and usually leads to more problems than it will solve. So why even go down that line of discussion with coworkers or bosses? To be sure, some of my bosses and coworkers knew my views on maybe religion or politics, but it's not something I've ever like directly spoken to them. They've just kind of gleaned it or inferred it from stuff that I've said or have not said. But I've never directly told them, "Hey, I'm this or that." The closest they knew about my political beliefs was 8 years ago when Trump got elected back in 2016, because I had stayed up all Tuesday night looking at the results of the election. And again, the projected winner at the time was Hillary, until they counted up all the ballots and realized that no, Trump actually got the 270 electoral votes and she didn't, and she lost, even though she was the projected winner. But we didn't know until that Wednesday morning, so I was pissed. And when I came to work, I didn't say anything. But then my boss, who was a black guy, by the way, came into the office with a Trump mask and was like, "Yeah, yeah, yeah, we won, yeah, yeah, yeah." And I was so pissed that I almost quit. So again, for people who think I'm like, this is the for the people who are always in my short in my video, my YouTube shorts, or in my comment section calling me a sellout and a coon and an Oreo and everything under the sun. I was against him in the first election, but I've changed. But yeah, I was against him in the first election back in 2016. I almost quit my job because of it. And again, I never discussed whom I voted for or that I, voiced my views, but I was so pissed when he came in celebrating Trump's election that I almost crashed out that day until a fellow coworker, she was like, don't do that. It's not worth it. So, Austin Loomis says, no matter what, even if I do vote either Trump or Kamala, is going to get, is getting voted no matter what. True. Plus, Lumen, we both live in blue states, so you and I both know no matter whom we vote for, Kamala's still going to win in our respective states, because the way it's set up in almost every state in the country except for two is that whoever wins the popular vote in that state gets all the electoral votes, which is why I don't understand why people are so upset about, people are so worried about removing the electoral vote, except for I think four times in history, is either four or five times in American history, the electoral vote has always gone in the direction of the popular vote. So, like I said, in almost every state in the country except for two of them, the whoever captures the popular vote gets all the electoral votes for that state. So we already know that Maryland is a blue state, New York is a blue state, and I'm exaggerating how I'm saying those states on purpose. But they're both blue states, so no matter whom you vote for, it's going to the blue. It's going to the Dems. It simply is. Fortune one says, "Good luck with America, Soviet Union. Illegals can vote." There have been some non-citizen voters, but again, like I was discussing this earlier with a friend, there's not enough of them that will alter the votes in the country, because guys, I don't know where you live, fortunate one, but popular it, it it's not enough people who are non-citizen voters that can change the electoral vote in a state one way or the other. It's simply not. We have to think. We have to think mathematically sometimes. Even if there was like 200 non-citizen voters in any respective state, that is not enough to change the overall popular vote in that state. That will alter the electoral votes for that state. If 200 people, if 200 non-citizen voters voted for Kamala, even though that only added to 500,000 voting for her in that state, compared to say 3 million for Trump, it's still all going to go to Trump in that state. I think a lot of you don't understand the electoral voting process. Selena says, not gonna lie though, I really think Kamala is going to win. I just can't see how people are stupid enough to fall for that bullshit. See, I don't. Honestly, Lumen, I really don't know which way it's going to go. It is so neck to neck right now. Like, I don't know if you saw my YouTube short, but I was saying one of the reasons I think she's like one of the reasons I think she may lose is because on the Democratic side, they like to subject their candidates to a parity test. Like liberals and progressives particularly want their candidate to come down on every issue that they for which they want. And if they don't, they may abandon that candidate. And I said this as a former progressive myself. When people weren't as progressive as I wanted them, I almost didn't vote for them when I was on that side, when I was on that team. I wanted Bernie, and when Bernie didn't win, I didn't want to vote, but I still did. So Kamala has ticked off a lot of progressives. A lot of them don't like her stance on Gaza. A lot of her, a lot of them don't like her stance on the border, and a lot of them don't like her stance on crime. She doesn't check off enough blue check marks for them. So I think there's going to be a lot of people on the left, on the political left, who are either going to refuse to vote or they're going to vote for Jill Stein, and that's how she may likely lose because there's going to be a lot of people who think she's not progressive or liberal enough for them. So they're going to vote for Jill Stein or they're just not going to vote. Snapshots. Snipe says, "Hey, how you doing? Trump 24. I'm doing well, man. What's going on? You getting ready for that Tuesday, or have you already voted?" Aguilar says, "Could illegals really vote? Don't you have to be a U.S. citizen?" No. So they've already caught a few non-citizen voters, Agatha. The thing is, so if you're in a state where all you have to do is check that you're a U.S. citizen and there's no verification of that, that's how some of them are getting away with it. Like they registered to vote and there's like no verification or there's little verification involved. They simply just check off they are a U.S. citizen. It doesn't ask them to provide like a birth certificate or a social security card or something to prove that they are a natural born citizen. Then that's how you get some non-citizen voters. Again, they are the minority. There's not going to be enough of them that can sway the election. So that's so I don't want the fact that there are some non-citizen voters for people to think that they are an actual threat to the direction the election turnout. They are not. There's not enough of them en masse to to um, to change the direction of the elections. But they're going to make a big issue of it, of course. And honestly, they should. There should be zero non-citizen voters. But because every state has a different system, some get through the cracks. And of course, there's going to be some Democrats that deny that they are non-citizen voters, but there's already been some who've been caught and talked about on the news last week. So they've already caught a few. So I think this stuff like this takes nuance, right? Like we can acknowledge that there are some non-citizen voters, while we can also acknowledge that there's not enough of them that can change the course of the election. Both thing, two things can be mutually true at the same time. Uh, but also, I agree with the conservatives that we shouldn't have any non-citizen U.S. voters because we couldn't vote in their goddamn countries. That's for sure. Can't vote in China. Shit, the citizens in China can't vote. But that's a whole different subject. And I'm just joking, China. Love you, China. Ni hao ma. Just joking, guys. But yeah. Oh, Agatha, you never answered my question. You probably didn't hear me. It, I wanted to know: is it ghetto around the Yankee Stadium, and is it nice around the Met Stadium for people who live in those neighborhoods? Because we were having a debate, and I was telling people that almost every sports stadium I can think of is usually not a place where you want to live. And I said maybe with the exception of the Met Stadium. But I think usually anywhere where there's a sports venue, you probably don't want to live there because you don't want people, driving through your neighborhoods. I think it's different with the Mets just because the Mets are actually in Manhattan, if I'm not mistaken. So pretty much almost anywhere in Manhattan nowadays is going to be desirable. Shit, when I did mortgage refinancing, we couldn't get people from New York to refinance their homes. They did not. They did not want to mess around with those homes at all. A lot of loan officers wouldn't even try to touch it. Honestly, actually, that's not true. The loan officers definitely would, but they just know a lot of people who live in New York aren't trying to refinance their homes, unless it's probably through people in New York themselves. They probably will only refinance with other local loan offices in New York City or New York State. I don't think too many of them would refinance uh, with licensed loan officers, outside of the tri-state area. And I'm not licensed. Well, I have an MLS, but I'm not a loan officer myself. At least not yet. But I do have my MLS, my NMLS, which is not. By the way, it's not hard to get. So don't be impressed that a loan officer has an NMLS. All of them do. We all have that in this business. By the way, what's up with the relationship, Agatha? Oh, you said so. When you say yes, Am I yes on both counts? Both that around Yankee Stadium is bad and around the Met Stadium is good. Am I right about both of those? Oh, true. Okay. Thank you. I was speculating, but it was a it was an informed guess. So I'm fiddling with my pistachios here, and I'm like flicking them open with one hand, just like I do bras. Stop. The left-handed bandit. He said things are wonderful with us. That's cool. That's what's up. I mean, you said you do have a sister. What's up with the sister? We got Officer Lumen right here. I mean, what's up with the sister you were talking about last week? I don't know what those emojis mean. But yeah, like I'm literally flicking these open with one thing with one hand though, because I had my other hand holding the phone. She is in Taiwan studying. Oh, word, that's what's up. Is she in Taipei or Taichung? I like Taipei a lot. I want to go back for a. How many times I've been here? One, two, three times. So not including when I didn't leave the airport, but the times I left the airport. So I'm counting those three times. Um, yeah, I liked it. The people are really nice. It's basically Taiwan is China without the bullshit. Like if you take all the best aspects of Chinese people and you combine it with a democracy, you get Taiwan basically. Planning to visit her for Christmas. That's what's up. Um, you'll like it. Taipei is really nice. People are really friendly to foreigners. Um, the weather's pretty good because so what people understand, even though the Taiwanese are mostly Chinese people, they are indigenous Taiwanese people though. But since Taiwanese are mostly Chinese, what people don't know is that Taiwan, uh, even though the people are East Asian, Taiwan, the nation, is actually geographically in the Southeast Asia. So the weather is always pretty good there. And then also another unique thing about the Taiwanese is that they love Japanese culture. So and when you're there, you can get authentic bubble tea because that's where bubble tea originated was in Taiwan. So you can get authentic bubble tea and also get the Taiwanese popcorn chicken. Really good. Uh, he said, "Yes, she is happy over there. Cool." So is she pretty? What's up? Officer Lumen got Officer Lumen got money. He can make some moves. You know what I'm saying? He said the good memories when I was in Tokyo. I remember a child with a big forehead staring at me. Tokyo is the best. I'm telling Officer Lumen. Uh, have you ever been there during Halloween? I have not, but I want to go so badly. I've never been there during Halloween. When I've went, it's always been in the summer. I want to go on Halloween because I want to go back to Shibuya for Halloween. And the funny thing was, this year they were supposed Shibuya had banned Halloween partying, but people still party anyway. But they also partied in Osaka for Halloween too. That I didn't know in Osaka they do some stuff on Halloween, but Tokyo, but specifically in like Shibuya and in Shinjuku, they party hard for Halloween. Like I gotta go for Halloween one day. I mean, one year. I gotta go back. I mean, I want to go back to Tokyo anyway because I haven't been there since before the pandemic. Um, but yeah, Tokyo has Tokyo by and large is my favorite city, and it's the biggest city in the world. Per capita, it's the largest city in the world, and it's my favorite city. It is my it's my favorite place. New York, London, Paris, Miami, LA. They don't have shit on Tokyo. Officer Lim said, speaking of money, guess what? Uh-oh. He said she's 22 years old. Sounds good to me. I mean, not for me, but you know what I'm saying. I like my, I like my Asian persuasion. But sounds right down. So she's your younger sister. That might be no fit for Officer Lumen. Just saying. I'm just saying. Oh, and Taipei does have its red light district. Oh, yes, it does. Not that it's here nor there. I'm just, Hey, yes, my baby sister. Austin says 26 and 22. What numbers I thought I never heard. Hmm. Not a big difference, but between between two siblings, that's like a big difference. But to someone in their 40s, that really doesn't matter. Like difference between 26 and 22, not a big difference to someone in their mid 40s. And to a senior citizen, it doesn't matter at all. Like, but when did you go to Tokyo, Officer Lemon? And what part did you stay in specifically, if you remember? Like I said, when I went there, I stayed in Shibuya. I also visited, Harajuku, which is, a ward within Shibuya. And I'm glad that was the first place I went to. Because I got to see the big Shibuya international the big the Shibuya intersection, which is the busiest intersection in the world. That was fun. I made friends overnight. I guess says I would love to visit Japan. You should. But I mean, honestly, I'm gonna say for guys, specifically brothers, we got it made there. Really do. Any American man, but specifically black guys, got it made. Obviously, Luna says 2023 first, 16th, and I bought a hotel, but I went with my coworkers, and they bought tickets and all expenses covered. Hotel room. That's cool. You don't remember which city within Tokyo though, like Shinjuku or Shibuya or Roppongi or Minato, um, Akibahara. Uh, Agatha is asking how old are you, Officer Lumen? He said not that we was half drunk when we got to the hotel, so I forgot. Uh, or getting drunk, that could be anywhere in Tokyo. But you also know from the places, any landmarks where like you were next to the Tokyo Tower or something like that. He said, by the way, I'm 26. Um, Again, that sounds about right. That's why he said 26 and 22. She said, okay. What does your sister look like? I mean, you don't have to go into too much detail because we're on the live. But if you want to give like some generic details, like the sort of details you would give like in the chat room back in the back in like the late '90s or early 2000s. Remember when people? Well, us. I'm sorry. I forget how young you guys are. You don't remember. You don't remember those Yahoo chat rooms, Google chat rooms, the AOL chat rooms, and you get to meet people and they say stuff like ASLR, age, sex, location, and race. You probably don't remember anything like that. You're like babies back in yeah, you would have been babies back then, back in 98, 99, 2000, 2001, 2002. But yeah, people get into these chat rooms and hook up. They'd be like ASLR, age, sex, location, race. You'd be like, hey, I'm 26. I'm a male. I'm in New York, and you know, I'm black or I'm Latino or I'm white or whatever. I guess you couldn't do that now. It'd be like, which gender do you identify with? Some shit like that. Obviously, obviously, Luna says something. Well, first he said I'm white and I got black hair and live in New York City. Agnes says she's tall, slim built, athletic, black. Uh oh. He says she's toxic. Damn. That's pretty. I know you want to just come out with it like that. No, did he? But he's a. I can already see where this is going. So, all right. The funny thing about that, Agatha, is that you were giving me, you were giving me flack for that meme I posted on my community tabs about like, hey queens, if you can't fit into this door, you don't qualify. And now you're saying that you and your sister are slim because you was like, she was like, us queens are thick or like thick, and I'm like, well, but now you're saying she's slim and athletic, so she would qualify. Agatha says she's very quiet, don't speak a lot. Oh, that's 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 a plus. That's a plus. Less talky more. That sounds like a plus. No wonder she gets along well in Taiwan. Because an overbearing person wouldn't probably do well in a more traditional culture like Taiwan. He said, we might have a winner. You know what I'm saying? Y'all might have to take this offline and you know see if your sister's interested. He said my friends are a little thick. Are they all black? Are any of them Asian, Latina, white, um, um, Indian? No. Okay. This is something thick. Okay. Well, it's like, well, as I said, as I said in the community tab, you guys didn't lose me because I had already been, married for several years anyway. So I wasn't anyone they can gain. So I was already off the market. But hey, Lumen is there. He might like a little. When's the last time your sister's been back to America? Because I'll tell you one thing. If I fly halfway across the world to see someone, I'm slamming those cheeks. It's not even a question. Edgar says, so you got married when I was summer? What do you mean when I was summer? So I got married 7 years ago. Yep, I fell under the Asian persuasion. Many years ago. So I was already looking for like a rice bunny. Saluma says, as long as she doesn't judge my addiction with spending hundreds on Pokemon cards, we good. That's funny too. I was in Target today off Saluma. There was a section for Pokemon trading cards. It was completely empty. I was like, what the hell? Because I was actually looking for Yu-Gi-Oh cards. Because I was looking, I was like, okay, wherever there's Pokemon cards, I bet you I can find Yu-Gi-Oh. And I went to the section. I was like, it was empty, except for like toys. It was like pretty much completely empty. You said I was 19 then. But you were still okay. You were still good to go as far as I'm concerned. Again, I don't know what you look like, but you know. And then a lot of black people in New York tend to be have like West Indian ancestry. I used to love West Indian women. If you could speak patois to me, that would get me in the mood. Especially when you like they would tease me in patois, and they're like, and they're like, um, wagwan Yankee and all this sort of stuff. I didn't get offended. They call me Yankee. I'm like, well, I am. But like I said, you was 19 back then. You were good to go. Good to go. Oop. As you see, my robots are best, but that was a mistake. Trying to flick open this pistachio. I told you I'm doing it with one finger. Left-handed bandit. Now I'm switching over to the right because I'm ambidextrous. By the way, for all you people lurking in the background that's not chatting, Agatha has an available sister who's apparently pretty, slim, athletic, but she is overseas. So get them if you don't. Better get those passports. Get those passports. Agatha are unfortunately is already taken off the market, and we can speculate that she's probably pretty cute herself. I was Luna said, "Whoa, whoa, whoa, that's my loot." Oh no, I mean no, I'm just teasing Lumen. They not coming after her sister. I was just saying for the people because I saw it was like 5 people in the chat. So I was like, there's some lurkers. I was like, hey, y'all might want to step forward because she just said she has a bunch of friends. I'm not saying that they take the sister from you, Lumen. She, remember she just mentioned she has several thick friends. So I mean, why not spread the love? Unless you trying to wrangle them all in. But honestly, I would take the sister. Hopefully, y'all can take this offline and maybe discuss um her like exchanging like um IG or something with you, so her sister can reach out to you or vice versa. And if she lives in I mean, since she lives in Taiwan, she probably even uses like um either Line or Viber or WeChat. I'm guessing. I don't fuck with Telegram because that's most people who tell you to use Telegram are on some scam and shit. But um, in Taiwan, I think they use like Line, WeChat, and Viber. Probably WhatsApp as well. WeChat and Viber are like heavily used in the Philippines. Like they use those in place of like um, often in place of like regular telephones. They'll like give you say, hey, reach out to me through WhatsApp or Viber. And I'm talking about like actual business establishments will have their Viber and WhatsApp posted in their business links. So, Like I said, I know Line is pretty big in Taiwan, if I'm not mistaken, and so is WeChat, because WeChat is also used in mainland China. WeChat is weird. WeChat is sort of like if you took Facebook, Twitter, uh, Cash App, and Uber, and mixed them into one platform. That would be WeChat. But we need a picture of Agatha for real. Because basically, however she looks is probably close to what the sister's gonna look like, more or less. And guys, don't you hate those pistachios that don't have any cracks in it? The oh, actually, this one does. Hold up. All right, three of them don't, but this fell into my couch. Oh, there it is. So, like I said, I don't know how y'all want to establish it. Maybe via email. Like you guys can drop your emails in the chat and then reach out to each other that way if you want to do it that way. Or if you feel safe, you can drop your IGs. Um, or you can go to each other's channels and contact each other that way. If to be more discreet. If you haven't already done so, then like I said, the good thing is Agatha is in New York, so that makes it really convenient. So my secret to open these non-cracked pistachios, I just go to my tool, my little craftsman tool set, and get my wrench and crack it open with my wrench, with my wrench or with my pliers. And that's how I open the non-cracked pistachios. Because as much as expensive as pistachios are, I want every single one of them. It's like Diddy wants every one of his 734 dildos. Which is diabolical. 734 dildos and 1,000 bottles of baby oil. They're already making jokes saying that all the celebrities coming out to support Kamala are they're calling them Diddy crats, saying that they're only voting for her because they got like skeletons in the closet. And anyway, I won't go there today. But I might you might see something posted in my community tabs within the next 2 days. Oh, shout out to J. Kim. Kim is finally back. I still don't know whether Kim is a he or a she, by the way. But J. Kim is back. For some reason, Kim said the channel was blocked or wasn't seeing it. But I've never blocked Kim from the channel, and she thought I had been put on some sort of YouTube restriction. I'm like, no, I haven't been put on any YouTube restriction. I said the channel's actually grown in the past like 7 months since Kim has has checked out the my channel. I haven't been on any restriction because I would have seen it in my emails, or it would have been in my YouTube studio um, thing showing that I had some sort of restriction. I've never been on any sort of restriction. I don't plan on because I wasn't even part of the. Besides that, I couldn't have been on any restriction back then because I wasn't even under the YouTube partnership program anyway. So the only other thing type of restriction outside of the YouTube partnership program would just be getting deplatformed, and I never done anything to get deplatformed. So, and I won't do anything to get deplatformed. But it's gotten silent in the chat, so I don't know if you guys are silently making moves um, behind the screen. If so, that's great. If you guys are making moves behind the screen, that's dope. Because if I've gotten you guys to get a match out of this, that's what's up. I can add matchmaker to the repertoire. But yeah, like I said, it's gotten silent in the chat room, so I don't know if you guys have been gone behind the scenes to make some connections. Uh, but if you guys are still there, let me know you're still here. If not, I'm gonna move on. Let's see, what time is it? It is it's 11:55. So I didn't know it was close to midnight. But I can still go on if people still want to ask me questions. Again, guys, this is Ask Me Anything Sunday, so that's why there's no specific topic that we're talking on today. But like I said, you can ask me any sort of question as long as it's appropriate. Uh, but if we're coming to the conclusion of this live stream, that's fine with me. Hopefully, more people will watch the broadcast on, on replay. I upload all my live streams. There's only been one live stream that I didn't upload, and the only reason was because it was restricted because of the music I was playing in the background, and it was AI generated music. So I didn't think AI generated music was copyrighted, but apparently it is. And it wasn't a copyright strike; it was just a copyright restriction because it's a warning. So getting a strike and a restriction are two different things. It basically said that I could. The restriction was basically that I could still. They weren't removing the video, but it would get demonetized. So rather than play, there's no point in having a replay of a live stream if it's demonetized because the only point of replaying a live stream would be for the monetization, unless it was like for the sake of information. But it wasn't an informational. That particular video wasn't informational, so it was no point in keeping that up. So I just deleted that. But every other live stream I've done, even the ones with zero people watching, I've all left up on here. Now my long form videos, some of them have been copyright restricted. I've not removed those. But again, like I said, I'll give it a few minutes. But when it hits 12, if no one has responded, I'm assuming that they went, outside of the chat room so they could chop it up and hopefully make some connections so that Officer Lemon can reach out to Agatha's little sis or whatever. See if there's a little connection. So, and also because Agatha says she has some available friends for you guys here. Hey, if you live in the New York tri-state area or somewhere in the Northeast, or you're just available to travel, let us know. I'm just going up this chat room, guys. Make sure I don't forget anything. Um, oh yeah, so I covered everything. I just went up the chat room, like scrolled up the chat room a bit. So looks like everything's covered again. So guys, if if you're lurking in the background, that's fine. Please give me a like and a subscribe, and and also share, like, share, subscribe, and if you're curious about some of the stuff that I talk about, I have plenty of other previous live streams up. I also have some long form videos up. I have some YouTube shorts up, and if you want to buy a membership, I have some membership only videos, mainly about martial arts and fitness. If that's your bag, check that out. Membership started at $2.99, and it would support me a lot. Or you can show support through buying a super thanks, um, or you can send me a cash app if you like. If you really want to, show support. I also have Venmo, or you can buy me a coffee at the buymeacoffee.com description. This um, that link is also going to be in the description of my channel as well. So if you want to buy me a coffee, I literally drink coffee all the time. I bought me a triple shot a triple shot espresso earlier today while I was doing my while I was with my friend door dashing. So he was door dashing, I wasn't. I was just along for the ride and helped out a bit. So but that'd be fun, and it was. So I'm gonna go unless there's any other questions or queries or thoughts or criticisms. Again, I know we're getting close to election day, so on Tuesday night, expect me to be doing a long live stream over the night as we cover what's going on. I'll probably have on a live feed on my channel on my TV from either like CNN or some other news channel. Um, but we'll see. I voted for Larry Hogan, not once. So you hear that? Twice. Not this time. The stakes are just too high. If Larry, no, well. So anyway, I'm watching YouTube too. But I know again, like I said, guys, if you want to support me, like, share, and subscribe. And if you want to show me some financial support, you can do so through sending me a super thanks or signing up for my memberships. The more memberships I get, the more membership only content I would create. I've only created a few so far, but with more memberships, I will create more members only content. Or you can buy me a coffee or um, send me a cash app. All those links will be in the description. So I appreciate it, guys. Hopefully, Agatha and Officer Lumen are making some connections behind the scenes. If so, I'm pretty sure they'll let me hear about it next time. So that's it for me, guys. I'll talk to you later. All right. Take care, everyone.